here is not the moment to talk about that, but as Steve said, yeah, I'm going to read some new work out. So this is, I'm not going to read it all, I'm going to read extracts from this, a sequence called The Personal History of Apathy. So, I don't know the dictionary definition of apathy. There is a dictionary on the bookshelves to the right over there, second shelf up. Google via my phone is even closer at hand. What's always been conveyed to me by the word though is a I don't care and I can't be arsed attitude to the world and the things and people in it, but not necessarily everything nor all of the people. Keith, principal male character in Amos's The Pregnant Widow I am reading currently. You shame me, as I know. Not only would you know the precise definition of apathy, you would also know what its etymology was. Such an elusive subject, apathy. Digression. Why do I feel an obscure shame at reading and enjoying Amos, as though I should be doing neither of those things? The moment you start to write about it, you lose hold of its essence, especially if its precise meaning is being only guessed at. Is it the teeth issue? Digression. Why is Amos so fond of the name Keith? This is the second time I've had a go at apathy. Dear Dan from work, where are you when? I need a joke. 2 times too many. At a performance writing event called Words Work at And Gallery in Leeds, Tuesday, April 28th, during part of a set, the poet Nat Raha uttered the phrase, the 2015 general resignation, utopian fantasy and description of things as they really are. We are resigned to the events of next Thursday. Over 200 years of parliamentary history have taught us this resignation, that all that will be on television for that day will be election blart, and that some people will mark their crosses whilst others won't bother. And when the whole thing is over, not one thing at all will have changed. Notes on grunge. Don't try and jam everything into one poem or song. There will probably be other poems or songs. The world at large is not interested in what qualifications you might have or what dues you might have paid. Rollerblading may or may not be something that people are still into, but Ben Stiller beginning a sentence, when I was blading in, will always be funny. Music probably matters less these days than it used to. Sometimes an incomplete parenthesis is just that, remember, nothing more nor nothing less. The fracturing of history into histories occurred at different times and different places, which should be surprising to no one. Hands, I think it's not that musicians have got less inventive, rather that the economics of the music scene have changed. All the serious young poet dudes should absolutely have an opinion on X Factor and the like. The notion of paying your dues now seems laughably antiquated. The world is lit by the expectant, optimistic faces of young people arrived fresh in town for university. Waiting for Greggs to open at 7:25 on Eccles Precinct, one is forced to confront more reality than can easily be dealt with. For a long time there was Winona Ryder. What we project onto our cultural icons is usually as confused as that which we project onto our friends, lovers and families. The list of musicians who died aged 27, which I dare say Google could present in moments if the search term 27 Club was entered. Huggy Bear and their collision with the word. One must always shoot the elephants in the room. If this poem were a room, the elephants in it would be Kurt Cobain. Try to care neither too much nor too little. Try to care always exactly the right amount. Study politics in the academy, get a 2-1, get all interest in politics knocked out of your system, was recently said by someone, I forget who, maybe Alexander Armstrong. Edmund Wilson wrote Marxism plus other stuff, a man also given to utterances of debatable value, i.e., when I speak English and write English already, why on earth would I choose to study it at the university? So upon my majority, aged 21, Orwell, Tressel and Carl, my sole companions, I fulfilled my historical destiny as decreed by that bloke off Pointless, off the TV. As well, I hung around a lot in the library, extending my friendship group to include Virginia Woolf and such like, noting changes in the uses of language to describe mental illness, I got depressed for a very long time, still depressed. The emotional connection means more to me than politics or poetry, though I know binaries, of course, are bollocks. Either or is not even half the story. For example, see Paul, principal character in Pharisees, to rise again as a decent hour. Cunt gripped, in his words, he sacrifices all that he is, i.e. his essential core, until his partner turning round sees just her own reflection, Paul gone. So, of course, the less important shit carries on, alongside the important shit, darling. You hear me? Sal, addressed to you, but also to anyone else who might be reading or hearing this poem now. Or why am I even writing this? When I could be reading Sight and Sound or Mayakovsky or Stoner, or watching Britain's Got Talent or 1,001 other things, yeah, try to sing of apathy, fail. My girlfriend is in Leeds currently, and in my head right now I'm with her, thinking of our shared future, not politics or poetry. Sal, 2 days won't seem like 2 days, you know. Weirdly, it never does. The yawn is halfway between a laugh and a hiccup. Don't get hiccups when you're drunk. Inviting for flies. There was an old woman who swallowed a fly. A warm greeting in some parts of the world. I don't know which ones. The only response appropriate to that email I sent you yesterday, Hans. Soz, dude. How seal catches fish. Like a kiss from a rose. The name of that blog I used to write. Are people blogging still? What I'm doing now, and not because I'm tired. Alright, last section of this, might be it for me. Remember that Mayakovsky collection, darling? The one I bought in Headingley in Oxfam. I've been reading it, which, yes, you do know, of course, as I was reading it Saturday on the bus and Saturday in bed. Both times when you were with me. Oh, poetry, a great fabricator. No words remaining pure inside of you. Least of all that remember above. This being all just shit I've made up, except for those bits which are true. Every red word of Mayakovsky reminded me of his populariser Bonnet, whose work I once used to love so much, whereas now I love it less. Who changed? We all change. Change is impossible to still. So frequent marks of exclamation do exist in the text, yes. Perhaps, though, that was just the times. Just bear with me. Pushing on through time, all the time, and through all time. No, I see what's wrong. Here we go. Which is forever against us, expelled into a cruel and caring weak, like a spitball shot from the mouth of someone who spits a lot, to be trod beneath the feet of work and geography. You there in Leeds with me, well, it's Manchester for me. With time not enough to do all that we want to do. Next weekend, please, get here soon. And read time, why on earth would I waste mine composing this poem, likely to be read by no one other than those who read it? To my right, the Mayakovsky volume. To my left, my phone fanzines and the television. Each a far more pleasurable occupation, easily, than filling this Word doc up with poesy. If I was apathetic truly, would I be writing this? Try to avoid rhetoric, remember, as rhetoric sucks. Wherever apathy is found, its sibling, anti-apathy, is usually not too far behind. So read over this poem again, please, with that in mind. Also, we stage the reading ongoing still in light of what I've just told you. Who the fuck ever? Pushing on through time, all the time, and through all time, aiming for an end of this as soon as achievable humanly, hopefully tonight, wanting to spend other nights working on other poems, other writings, the long-planned and long-held in abeyance cinema theory piece, Iraqi, Coppola, Sophia, Corinne, plus the New York School influence look at the state that I am in, not just first and second gen New York, but those poets today also, whose names yet I don't even know, but Marcus Lees does, so it's him I'll ask, that state being love. Poems exploring that, its meaning, and how beautiful your body looks in our bed early morning. Jesus too, the Love Life manuscripts. Before any of those, this poem of apathy that I'm so desperate to finish, which would feature a lot of politics, I promised. All I've been really trying to say is, everything implies its opposite. Therefore, apathy towards the democratic process needn't mean a lack of politics, to which there's much more, of course, than just Westminster and Parliament, where fat cunts sit on overfed asses, kill the upper classes. That's that, right?